Every year, millions of emergency calls are made, and sometimes it's the ones that are not immediately life-threatening which most severely test the skills and ingenuity of rescue workers, as one family found out on a January night in 1991. Denise was getting ready to go out with her husband and their 3-year-old son, Sal.
It was about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I'm getting dressed in the bathroom, putting on my makeup, and the baby is sitting on a pedestal watching me put on my makeup. He went to grab for the lipstick, and he fell down in the space between the sink and the pedestal in the bathroom. And at first he wasn't even upset about it. He just looked at me and said, "Mommy, I'm stuck." And I looked at him and I said, "Yeah, you are."
I was in here and I said, "Well, what do you want?" "I'm watching TV." She didn't say nothing. So I went in there.
What? What's he doing in there?
And, I saw my son stuck. And I said, "Well, just get him out." I just like, you called me to come in here and get him out of there. You couldn't get him out? You know, I mean, that's how I looked at it. And she looked at me with much sarcasm in her eye and said, "You try."
Let me get up. Let me get up. Yeah, I can get him.
He's got a little belly like his dad, and it's 4 inches. What can you put in a 4-inch spot? Let alone a 60-pound butterball turkey. You know, you can't get him in there.
You ready? We're all gonna 3 push. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Nothing. I mean, he didn't even, not even an inch. He just, nothing.
Denise, I could use a little bit of help here.
What do you think I'm doing?
Come on.
His legs aren't touching the ground. His legs aren't touching the ground. They're not touching the ground. It's okay.
That's when I got scared. I sat down, I kneeled down on the floor and asked him to push on my legs. And his legs were not moving. He wasn't even trying to push. I was afraid he hurt his back. At that point, the baby was getting scared.
Yes, my son fell in between a sink and a tub, and I can't get him out.
At 6:08 p.m., the call came in to the 911 dispatch center. Supervisor Donna Collister took over the call.
Sir, how is he trapped?
Huh?
How is he trapped?
There's a wedge in between the tub and the sink.
Fire department rescue workers and paramedics were immediately dispatched.
Okay, we have units that are on the way now. I'm going to try to help you before they get there.
I wanted to know whether he was injured or not, and if the child was in an immediate life-threatening situation.
And is he trapped by his neck?
No. He's got from his chest down.
His chest down, okay. Now, can you see, is it...
And he's standing, his feet aren't hitting the ground.
Okay, can somebody reach under there and hold him up?
That's what she's doing, my wife.
Okay, have her talk to him and tell him it's going to be okay.
Denise, just keep talking to him and tell him it's going to be okay.
Sir?
Yeah.
Is he mostly scared, or is he complaining that he's hurt?
He's mostly scared.
Okay, can you ask him if it hurts?
Okay. Does anything hurt you, Sal? What hurts? That hurts on your tummy? Oh, on your butt? On your butt? Okay. His back.
Pain in his back and his rear? Okay, tell him try to not to get him to scream. Try to calm him down, because the more he does that, the more he works himself up. Probably the tighter he's going to be wedged. We don't want that to happen, okay?
Sal, the lady says you can't scream because you're going to get wedged in there tighter. Okay? So just don't scream. Why do you need to scream? You don't need to scream. That's okay, honey. That's okay. Come on, we're going to go out. We're going to dinner now. As soon as they're going to come and take you out, and then we're going to go to the dinner, the restaurant.
Sir, is your door unlocked, or is there somebody that can answer it besides your wife?
And I am standing by. I'm on a portable phone, standing by the door. I just bought this house. I just moved in this house.
Well, that might be something we might need to remodel, huh?
Oh, man, it's a brand new house.
Oh, no.
I think humor lightens things up, and I think he was much more relaxed after that comment than he was during the whole entire incident. It got his mind off of what was going on in the other room.
The engine says that they're about a minute out, or maybe a little bit over a minute.
All right.
Okay, I know it seems like such a long time, but they're moving as quickly as they can.
I know.
I can hear their siren there in the background. I'm going to let you go.
All right.
Reserve firefighter Steve Ferguson had been paged at home. Because he lived nearby, he was the first rescue worker to arrive.
It's my son. He's in here.
He's right in here. I went in the house, and here was this child. They tell me later he was 3 years old, and he looked like he should be 5 or 6. He was big.
Moments later, Steve's brother, firefighter Scott Ferguson, and his partner also got to the scene.
When the fireman got here, he was calm. He was like, they'll get me out.
The first step, we wanted to get something to support his feet on so we could get the mother out of the way so we could work on getting him out. So we got a little box to put down there so that he could, support his feet on there.
It's all right. Hang on, buddy. Hang on.
The second thing we did is I asked both of them if they had any type of lubricating type jelly or something we could put on him. Maybe this would make it easier to slide him out of here. And they did have something.
Sal, listen to them, Sal.
I put it on him, on his stomach and on his back.
Let's see if we can get him out of here, okay? George's count. You ready? You ready? Be a good boy now. Ready? Okay, here we go. Hang on. Hold it. All right.
It didn't help as far as being able to pull the child straight up out of there. We couldn't do that.
What about disassembling the counter? We thought about dismantling the cabinet and try to, get him out that way, but that would take time.
Scott then suggested they try to free Sal using a porta-power, a miniature version of the Jaws of Life.
I thought if we could get enough pressure with the jaws opening up that we could maybe get some more lubricant in there and slide him out that way. And I positioned it down, and we spread it apart.
I had some concerns when we started hearing the wood cracking, because if this counter were to splinter or something, we don't want to make the situation worse by maybe having to splinter and hurt the child.
You're going to try one more time now.
We attempted to slide him out again, but it still wasn't enough. The child was really wedged in there good.
By that time, the paramedics were here, the ambulance, and the ambulance driver said to my wife, get me a bucket with soap water, dishwashing soap water.
Okay, the water.
Okay, I'll take the water. Craig, get the water.
And he poured it down my son.
It's not going to hurt you. Watch your face, Sal. Don't drink it. Get in the back.
George got behind the child again. Scott repositioned the porta-power again, and we went for the second try.
1, 2, listen to fire me.
They're going to help you, honey.
Hold it. All right. Come out with the George. You call it. Okay. 1, watch his arm. 2, 3.
I just pulled the child. Instead of coming straight up, I pulled the child kind of sideways.
Oh, come on, guys. He's moving. He's coming.
The minute they got him out, I made them give him to me. It's like, let me have him.
So I'm just going to put this around your arm, okay?
The firemen helped me carry him over to the bed. They laid him down and examined him while I sat there consoling him.
Look at that, huh? You're fireman now. There you go. Look at that.
We told him, you want to go see the fire truck now?
Let's go see a truck. That's a good boy.
When he got to go out and see the fire truck, he was so excited. I think he had forgotten what happened for a few minutes.
Ready?
Now that it's all over, we can laugh about it. The firemen were very good about it, very nice, and they got him out, and I thanked them.
It's a good feeling to know that there are a few happy endings to offset some of the bad endings. It was humorous, you have to admit.
For the parents of 3-year-old Sal, this incident will no doubt loom large in the tales they tell of him in the years to come.
Dad! Hi, Dad! Hi, Dad!
He's a wild guy. I mean, he's full of surprises. I mean, you don't know what to expect next from him. And I had my boy back. It's a good feeling.
All things considering, I would have to say it was a very happy ending to a very crazy story. Very scary night. And we ended up going out to dinner after all.